All right. Hello, everyone. I am Max Venskus, and I'm here with Dr. Daneiah Nasser and Meredith Cruz to present today's presentation of goal setting and time management, incorporating academic coaching practices into tutoring. So I guess I'll just jump right in with who are we? Well, we are all staff at the Cerullo Learning Assistance Center, which offers support for over 200 courses at Bergen Community College. We provide one-on-one appointments, walk-in services, study groups, in-class tutoring, supplemental instruction, online tutoring, and academic coaching, composed of 6 total sub-centers, and we see about 30,000 appointments annually. Currently, we have about 100 peer and professional tutors working at the establishment, and I like to think we're pretty neat.
Now we're going to get into who we really are. I'm Meredith. Nice to meet you guys. I'm a second year student here at Bergen Community College in Paramus, New Jersey. I've been a writing tutor here since the last semester, spring semester, at the Cerullo Learning Assistance Center, also known as the CLAC. I tutor writing 101, writing 201, English basic skills, speech communication, and essay writing in any class. My major is natural sciences and mathematics general, which is kind of ironic because I'm a writing tutor, but I really do enjoy writing. And if anything, I really love my job. The people here are really great. I enjoy interacting with my coworkers, supervisors, the front desk workers, my tuties, and just being here in the environment. It's a great place.
Hi, everybody. I am Daneiah, and I have been at Bergen for the past 10 years, so I guess you could call me ancient by now, but I do love being a tutor in the tutoring center. I'm also an academic coach, and I have been an adjunct in the history department on campus. And it's a really great place to be, honestly. It's helped me advance my career. I received my BA and my MA from Montclair State University, and then I completed my PhD at Capella University. And I've been able to publish a few things ever since and take part in panel discussions. So Bergen has really, been a great experience, and it's helped me, expand my horizons, I guess you could say.
I am Max. This is my second year tutoring at the CLAC. I tutor Writing 101, Speech Communication, Anthropology 101, Psych 101, Modern African History, World Literature 1650, Eastern Philosophy, and World Geography. I'm also currently an SI leader for Writing Composition 1, an academic coach. My major is history, and I hope to one day become a professor in that subject. So moving on to our first activity here. I want to introduce a scenario, if you would. I want you to imagine that you are one of your students. It's the beginning of your week, and you have a lot of stuff on your plate. In this activity, you will choose the task you feel you should prioritize the most. There's not really a wrong answer. It's just what you think you would start with. With each round, the difficulty will increase. The tasks will become closer together, harder to differentiate. So we'll move on to round one. There's going to be a poll up that is going to have the numbers 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to choose the one you think you would prioritize the most.
Did that launch for everybody? Okay, sweet.
Yeah, it just popped up. Thank you.
All right. All right. So everyone has answered, it seems, and the winner seems to be choice 2, getting groceries for the week. So as it happens, that is also a choice in round 2. Getting groceries for the week, doing laundry for the week, and studying for a final exam this week. So we're going to put up another poll once again, 1, 2, and 3. Just the choice that you think would be the most priority in your day. All right. It seems like just about everyone has answered. And this time, getting a bit more, out there. People are a little bit more split. Winner was studying for a final exam this week. So now, if we're ready to turn it up a notch, so to say, let's move to round 3. Studying for a final exam is also here, but so is working on a class's final essay that is due in 2 days, or finalizing a transfer essay for next week. All right, just about everyone's in. And we had a lot of answers for 2, working on a class's final essay due in 2 weeks. And that is understandable. And with this round, I think that there's not really a truly correct answer. Because honestly, the best way to prioritize this would be to prioritize this before you're getting to this point. And that's kind of leading into the topic of this presentation, which is, how do you, stop this from happening? So I'd like to, before we get into the overall topic, to reflect on what would you do? Students have a lot on their plate, as I'm sure everyone here does as well. In this presentation, we will help you assist the students in handling the task of prioritizing things and making sure that just their life is a little bit easier. Our purpose is to incorporate academic coaching best practices into daily tutoring sessions, to demonstrate effective ways of assisting students via goal setting, time management, and task breakdown techniques, and to utilize small group activities and larger scale exercises to simulate real world scenarios where practices of academic coaching and tutoring concept specific subjects collide. A quote here: the role of the tutor is not always as clearly defined as we would like to believe, and I'm sure we all know that's the truth. So, there's differences between these different roles that tutors and academic coaches and mentoring, all these things cover different areas. I'm not going to read out everything on this slide, but just to point out a few key things. The focuses: coaching focuses on the big picture. Tutoring is more on the little picture, a single assignment, a single problem, a single exam. Mentoring is focusing on an individual, not necessarily, what they're dealing with, but just them as a whole. And advising is focused on explaining placement test results and developmental placement. There's other things like coaching works for solutions for both short and long-term problems. Tutoring answers questions related to a particular subject or course. Mentoring offers advice and guidance for making good decisions, and advising can teach the students how to read the web catalog, how to understand their degree requirements. All of these roles are important, but it is important to note that they're not the same. So for a final activity before I hand it off to one of my co-presenters, let's just consider how much time we really have. Behind me here, I can't get it all in shot, but I have a tape measure that is 168 inches long. It is 14 feet. So in the chat, just at your own discretion, what is something you might have to do within a week, and how long would you believe that would take? So you can just throw out any sort of activity that you think you would have to do within the 168 hours of a week. and how long you think it would be. And I'm just gonna pick them. A commute of 8 hours a week. Okay, I like that one. Sleep, 56 hours. That's 8 hours a day. So if we remove 56 inches, oh, that's retracted a little bit. So 56 from 14 is about there. All right. Dishes, 4 hours a week. Studying, 20 hours. Eating, 21 hours a week. All right. Laundry, maybe 4 hours. Work, yeah, 40 hours. Classes, 20 hours. Self-care, 7 to 14. Let's go on the let's go for the 14 hours here. All right. So, oh, helping kids with homework. Yeah, let's throw maybe 7. So 7 hours there if you're doing it 1 hour each day, which is probably an underestimate. So now I would like if you would send out a number into chat to guess how much we have left over considering those things. And this could be a conservative estimate considering all the things that we've said. 5, -20, 15, 6, 5, 8, -40. All right. I actually have seen the right answer, which to us right now is around 19. So it started, this was across the room when I started. It was touching the wall, and it's down to 19, if I have counted correctly, which I may not have. I'm a writing tutor, not a math tutor. What does this show us? Well, we have a limited amount of time in our weeks, and we have a lot of stuff to do. So I'm hoping that in this presentation, we can help you help your students to make sure that they plan their time accordingly so that they can make the most out of these 19 extra hours. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to my co-presenter, Meredith, and thank you.
Hi again, this is Meredith. Well, as you can see, after everything that we talked about, there's a lot of pieces that go into finding or completing our goals and managing our time. So we really have to connect the pieces of the whole puzzle. Understanding time means that we need to connect everything that we do, all of the tasks that we need to complete in order to build this whole big picture with our schedules and really get through the whole week properly. You can click.
All right, sorry.
You're good, you're good. So what is time management? Time management is the process of organizing and planning how to divide your time between tasks. And we don't have to just do this in our work or when we're tutoring students. Apply this in our daily lives as either students or just living our lives, getting groceries and the such. It helps us to work smarter and not harder. We love time management here. Some benefits of effective time management is increased productivity, reduced stress, better work-life balance, and enhanced focus and decision-making, which is very important, especially in this day and age, now that we have everything at our fingertips with technology. And there's a lot of distractions like social media and TikTok where you can doom scroll for on and on. Next slide. Some common time management challenges is going back to my last point, like procrastination, multitasking, lack of prioritization, and distractions. So some ways that we can prioritize time effectively is using tools or methods that help us see what is really urgent and what is important that we have to do. Some things like this is Covey's quadrants, or the time management matrix, it's called. With Covey's quadrants, we're able to see in these 4 quadrants from going top left to top right, then to bottom left to top right, and divide what we should do like in order of urgency and importance. So in quadrant 1, you would put things that you have to do like right now at this moment that would be due maybe tomorrow or today. This quadrant includes crises and pressing problems and things that have deadlines. Quadrant 2, which is the urgent but not important, or not urgent but important, is when they don't require immediate reaction but contribute to like long-term success. So things that you want for your goals. And then there's quadrant 3, which is urgent but not important, where it demands immediate attention, but it doesn't align with your long-term goals. And last is quadrant 4, which is not urgent and not important. It's usually time wasters, like when you're binge watching TV or other forms of procrastination. Covey's advice, he advises that you should prioritize quadrant 2, which tasks like create a balanced, purpose-driven life. And it focuses on the long-term value-driven activities, reducing time spent in quadrant 3 and quadrant 4 for a more effective and fulfilling life. Next slide. So what is goal setting? Goal setting is the process of identifying something you want to accomplish and establishing measurable objectives and timeframes to achieve it. It helps you provide direction and motivation, which is like how I showed you with Covey's quadrants or the time management matrix. The benefits of goal setting is that it helps focus efforts, clarifies priorities that you need to do first, enhances motivation to get things done, and it promotes personal growth. So I really do recommend it. So how can you set goals effectively? Well, I actually learned this in the tutoring center of SMART goals. SMART goals, it's a mnemonic where it shows how it makes goals more powerful of how to use it. Some variations for SMART, this is what they stand for. S is specific, like if it's significant for what you need to do for your goal. And M for measurable, if it's meaningful, how you're going to track your process. A, attainable, or if it's achievable, how can you know how you can complete the goal, if it's like you can actually reach it in a timely manner. R, relevant, or if it's rewarding, reminding you of like, oh, why am I trying to complete this goal and why is it a goal in the first place? And T, time bound, which is it trackable, when's the deadline? As tutors, how do we see these strategies leading to effective learning? Well, students become actively aware of their priorities and in tune with their assignments. We love scheduling. Google Calendar is my best friend. Tutors present effective ways of assisting students, which leads to a higher rate of student confidence. If you're able to know what you're going to do and you have the plan and like the routine or the route to do it, of course, the student will feel better and more confident in completing that task. Students are also able to transfer the strategies of time management and goal setting throughout their academic careers as well as their daily lives in order to have a more productive lifestyle. This goes back to my Google Calendar. I love my Google Calendar and I track everything from my work, school, clubs, and all my like plans, personal plans, all on there. So time management, goal setting, everything there. And lastly, students gain the best of academic coaching strategies, as well as the knowledge of applying these strategies in tutoring sessions and writing assignments.
Okay, so now we're basically going to look at how time management and goal setting are essential when we're dealing with writing assignments. First of all, time management. We obviously need to track the time that we have, as Max stated before. Goal setting as well with the SMART goals that Meredith discussed. All of this helps us streamline the process of writing so that we basically don't get stressed out at the end, and we're just not writing an essay or a research paper that's full of fluff or full of, random quotes without like an actual analysis, and basically letting us have a high quality of work. So there's basically 6 examples how we are going to basically positively impact our writing. So the first thing that we do is we have increased productivity. So that means that basically we need a specific time block. So if we know that something is due in a week, we need to basically figure out how long we need based on everything else that's going on in our lives to complete the task. And then goal setting goes hand in hand with that. So basically, if we're looking at a research paper, there's different parts in a research paper. So we have to research, we have to outline, we have to come up with like a draft and then like edit the final product. So we need to know basically based on, let's say, the size of the research project or how long it has to be, how many days or how many hours we need. And then once we do that, we're able to have specific goals. Each day, what are we going to do? Rather than cramming everything in the day before it's due or going to the tutoring center, oh, my research paper is due in an hour. That way you end up stressing yourself out and your tutor out. And that leads us into the reduced stress. So when we do that, we end up having clear goals in mind, and we are able to work on each part of the assignment and give each part its own, let's say, due process. So we know that we are doing proper research. We are, taking time to read the research, highlight things, come up with an outline that basically, allows us to go, kind of like chunk by chunk, each part that we need in the writing assignment or the paper. And doing an outline really helps you with the overall goal, which is having a clear and concise paper or in the end. I always say whenever you have a clear outline, you end up having like a good paper, and the overall task ends up seeming more manageable, and you're not stressed out and you're not anxious about it or anything. And now we're going to move on to the third, which is improved quality. So when we space things out like that, it effectively allows us to write a paper that is well structured. We have arguments and analysis in each section. And like I said before, we're not just, putting a paper there that's full of fluff and, just to get the assignment done. No, we're getting the assignment done with a clear purpose in this case. And that way you are fulfilling your goal of not only completing the assignment, but also actually getting a high quality grade on it. And number 4, again, I guess it's kind of clear now that when we do all of this, we avoid procrastination, and we end up basically holding ourselves accountable for all of the work that we have. And, just not waiting till last minute, even if it's an assignment that when it gets assigned to you seems like this, annoying task that you have, splitting it up into chunks lets you kind of get it over with faster in a sense, because you don't feel that everything is just pressured on you. It gets done and you are getting it done within the specific deadlines that you do need for it. And then number 5, when we have better time allocation for research, it also allows us to edit in the end of the day. So that way, the day before your essay's due, you're not starting from scratch. You're just, maybe going to the tutoring center and going over it, editing it, or even editing it yourself, and, figuring out what's missing. And if something's missing, it's only going to be something that's simple. It's not going to be a major portion of your paper. And then number 6, it just allows us to overall be focused and have direction on our assignment. And not only that specific assignment, but everything else that you have to do ends up remaining, you have more focused on everything you have to do when you manage your time properly and you set specific SMART goals. You end up completing your writing assignment, on time, plus everything else you have to do is also done in a timely manner. And then you don't feel like your life is all like jumbled up. And the next thing is that when we manage our time, we always end up staying productive and focused. And it just helps us overall with our quality of work and our quality of life in both our academic careers and just like daily personal life. It helps us kind of figure out our, hours and times that we have. So our activity that we are going to do, we're going to split you guys up into groups. You have been assigned an essay for your Writing 101 course, and it revolves around a piece of literature that you have read in class, and you have to find additional information from outside sources to support your argument. So your final draft is due a month from today. So even though that sounds like a long time, you still have to think about how you're effectively going to use your time to complete the assignment, as well as thinking about all of your other daily tasks and commitments, and just like leading up to your specific goals that you have. So we will, I guess, split you up into groups. I guess we can do 5 or so per group. And you guys can discuss for a few minutes what you think, how you'll plan it out, and then we'll regroup, and then you guys can volunteer to share.
All right. Is that everyone back?
Looks like it, yeah.
All right. So, if you would like, anyone who would be comfortable with sharing is now invited to give us some of your thoughts. What did you guys come up with for how you would, for any tips you would give to structuring your weeks, for an assignment?
Guess I can go ahead. We all like pitched in ideas where I introduced like the 5-day study plan, but here would be like more like the first week, 5 days, designate like 2 hours per day to get your research kind of done, maybe get a first outline per se. Second week, again, same thing, 2 hours per day, 5 days, kind of get like your draft done, more or less. And by week 3, you should like consult like other eyes to help you, other writing tutor, And by then, I mean, you can designate 10 hours, but by then, you might start to see a little bit less time being spent on it, because what does take a lot of time is your research, basically. That's where you want to get the right things, the right idea, the right concept, and, leave more open time to have either your final revision, or if you're comfortable, run it in, and you'll be done.
Yeah. And that kind of acts also like a, little reward for yourself. If you can like, tune down as you go along, you're feeling good. You don't have to spend 2 hours each day. You can, maybe give it 1 hour, an hour and a half. Yeah.
Well, in my breakout group session, Linnell actually sent us a link for this assignment planner or assignment calculator. It was a website. I'm going to send in the link in a few moments.
It showed up in the overarching chat. It didn't restrict
Really?
it. Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
everyone can see that there. That's through the University of Minnesota, and it helps you backward plan. So you put in when the project is due and when it begins, and you select which type of project it is. Is it a research paper, a speech, etc.? And then it helps you figure out when each phase of the project needs to be done, and break that into the milestones as you go along there. They even have if you happen to be working on your dissertation, they have a dissertation planner in there too.
So you guys should definitely test that out. Manel was graceful enough to send it in. Oh yeah, I'll resend it, but it's the one right above your chat, Roslyn. Pretty cool. Anything else interesting that you guys talked about? Our breakout group session was a lot. It was very nice. So if anyone would like to talk about that, that'd be cool.
I can make a little comment. I think I was in a group with Rosalind, and she was giving a lot of very in-depth advice. Especially with I think one of the key points that we kind of talked about is that whenever you kind of have a prompt, there's always the possibility of misinterpreting that prompt as well, because I feel like yeah, you kind of have a different mindset with the actual like professor or whoever actually made it. So my kind of idea and as well as like others is that I would basically kind of maybe check with the professor first before maybe potentially writing like some sort of draft just to make sure that at least you kind of have some sort of idea and making sure that like you aren't kind of like thinking about something else when like kind of approaching the prompt. So just to make sure that I am aligned with what the professor wants, I always like try to go to office hours or any sort of help or tutoring.
So we're nearing the end here, but I think that that's a really insightful point from both the first group to speak and this group is that the benefits that other eyes and other like confirmations can bring to an assignment is huge. Asking your professor to make sure you're on the right track, asking a writing tutor to make sure that there's nothing you're overlooking. There's a saying that many hands make light work. So any like extra help that you can utilize, I would also encourage that that is a good thing to engage in. So any other final comments? We're nearing the end here.
I just wanted to say I appreciate you all for coming to our presentation and thank you so much for participating. I loved all of the answers and hearing all of your thoughts, and I hope that this presentation helped you a little bit.
So real quick, just before anybody drops off, again, I am dropping the link to the survey in the chat right now. And then I would once again like to invite everybody to turn on their cameras so I can get a group picture of all of us.
I think Sonia has something to say.
Oh, yes.
Sorry. I just wanted to say you guys did a great job. I think it's really important to kind of focus as you were giving that visual representation of the ruler because we use so much of our time through the week, our resources, our processing, and students will come in and they'll have a lot of things that are stacking, and then they have to have something explained and try to understand it, and it adds a lot of pressure. So I think being self-aware as tutors, but also as students to that process is really important. And you guys gave a great representation of it. It was really engaging. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your comment.